speaking of Colorado, what do you expect for them this season from Deion? The over/under is 5.5.
I got them win. As crazy as it may sound,
I think you said
I got them winning the conference.
Whole thing, right?
I got them winning the conference. As crazy as it may sound, because whenever you got the best quarterback, and I believe they got the best quarterback in the conference, you typically win. What's going on? It's Keyshawn, and welcome back to my show, All Facts, No Breaks. It's good to be back.
We're back.
Yeah, we've been off for a little bit, me and my son, Keyshawn. Before we get started, I wanted to remind all of you out there to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on all social media. It should be a great show today. FOX Sports college football analyst is joining the show later, but until then, I'm going to fuck with my son, Keyshawn, for a little bit. We're going to have some conversations. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk college football, a little pros. We're going to have a little bit of rankings on the top teams in the NFL as well as position players at the wide receiver position. So let's fire it off, Keyshawn.
What's up? So new show.
New show.
No more Undisputed.
No more Undisputed.
How do you feel about it?
Happy? It's not that I'm happy. I'm
excited.
Happy. I can tell you one thing. I don't have to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, yeah. So they changed your schedule.
Schedule changes. Now I'm on Speak from 2 to 4 Pacific time, 5 to 7 East Coast time on FS1. I now have Joy Taylor and Paul Pierce, Michael Irvin, and then a host of others throughout the week will be on with us. But yeah, it's I didn't realize it was going to be short-lived. I mean, think about it. I was at ESPN forever.
TV, yeah.
Yeah, ESPN called me, say, hey, man, we're going to write that check for you and we're going to let you get out of here. I'm like, well, where am I going? But it happens.
Yeah. Well, let's talk football. USC LSU, final score 27-20. People didn't really expect USC to win, which is kind of crazy to me. I think they were minus 4.5 they were plus 4.5 at the end, but I think before they were like plus 7 touchdown to lose. So how do you think they looked?
I thought USC looked good, but as far as the Vegas odds makers and the points and all that sort of stuff, USC had a down year last year where LSU played in a bowl game. Like both of them, they didn't. Both of them had Heisman Trophy quarterbacks that they lost.
That's what it's hard to do that too because it's the first week and it's a completely different team for both of them.
Yeah, it is. So but LSU, it's one of those deals where people got caught up, in my opinion, in the program that had the most success. Most recent.
Yeah, recency bias.
Yeah, recency bias. So you think LSU 6 years ago, they won a national title under Ed Orgeron.
But they haven't won the first week since then.
And they haven't won the first week since then.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those deals. But to answer your question, I thought they looked fine. I thought that they fought. They didn't give up. When they was down, they had a chance to because they was running the football. Emory Jr. was gashing them. Till he got hit in the mouth. When he got hit in the mouth that one time by number 34 in the backfield, lost about 6-7 yards, he completely changed at the running back position. But SC stayed the course. It was good to see Lincoln Riley get a victory that kind of, I don't know, it had, because of the name LSU, it had some character to it. Opposed to beating Oregon State. School. It's an SEC school, so the hype, everybody, ooh, SEC.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time about the SEC when Nick Saban was a coach, and I said, man, y'all hiding behind Alabama and Georgia. That's who y'all hide behind. Y'all running behind Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. Because Tennessee wasn't winning nothing. Ole Miss wasn't winning. Mississippi State wasn't winning. Auburn had one with Cam, but that was so long ago.
1 year and 50.
Yeah, and that was it. And then Florida had one many years ago with Urban Meyer. So everybody was hiding behind Georgia and Alabama. Oh, SEC, mighty SEC. I'm like, man, stop. But now we beat a SEC team, so now let's see what people say.
How do you think they're going to hold up in the Big 12 this year?
You
said you got Colorado winning it, which is crazy to me.
No, but it's the Big 12 versus the Big 10.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The Big 12 is Colorado. The Big 10 is USC, Michigan, Ohio State, and them. USC has to be physical up front because the country boys, the big Fed boys, in the Wisconsins and then Penn State come here to L.A. We don't have to go to Happy Valley. We go to Michigan in 2 weeks.
Should be crazy.
Michigan might not be the same program. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But beating Michigan in Michigan will go a long ways, because then, we pick up them Rutgerses along the way. I can't wait to get a hold of Rutgers. Greg Schiano, because Greg Schiano, that's some bullshit though, running up the score, doing that. You see what they did to Howard? Come on, man. You don't do no shit like that. You don't do that.
Until another team does it to you, and then
then you try. And I like Greg Schiano, but I'll tell him, he worked with me at ESPN. I'll tell him to his face, that's some bullshit. Why you gonna do that? You know, first of all, you know damn well you're gonna beat Howard. You just know you are. And you was winning the game, but you still gonna
keep the starters in and keep running it, right?
I can't wait to get a hold of Rutgers.
Well, Miller Moss, 378 yards, touchdown. You think he's the real deal?
I do. I do think he's a real deal. If you go back to the bowl game that he played in, he threw the ball all over the place. He was pretty good in the Holiday Bowl. He was pretty good.
He had a record.
He broke the record or whatever. So I think just when you lose a Heisman Trophy winner, you don't know what's behind him.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, people just think, oh, he's just a guy. Well, he can't beat out a quarterback that came from a school where the head coach came from. They're not going to, first of all, even if he was better, they're not going to let you beat him out.
There's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Kyron Hudson catch, you saw that. Do you think he's receiver one? We were talking about that over the weekend. I think he's like the real deal.
Is he the real deal for USC or just in general?
Like, do you think he's the best receiver for USC? Because they've got a lot.
They got Deuce. Zachariah Branch is like a all do everything guy. I think it works for them.
Yeah.
You going crazy off the catch, just like everybody else. Oh, look at the catch.
More than that catch.
I know, but everybody,
the little
everybody coming with the Odell Beckham LSU. Oh, look at, come on, man.
I feel you.
But he's got an opportunity and a chance for sure.
And then Brian Kelly slamming his hand on the table after the loss. How do you feel about that? He's getting some.
It's not. He was mad. He was mad about what took place.
Right.
He's not blaming his team. He's blaming himself. He's blaming the players. He's blaming his coaching staff. They keep putting themselves in positions and not finish. That's all he's saying. And I'm not a Brian Kelly fan. You know how I feel about him. I think he got one of them Notre complexes, Dame. So that's who he is. What you gonna do?
I just feel like at the end, you can't just always blame the players.
But see, I don't think he was blaming the players. He said he got to do a better job. He pointed to himself.
Yeah.
So let's not lose sight of that. Again, I'm not the biggest Brian Kelly fan. I'm not. I know too much about him.
He didn't say it, but his reaction, like him getting angry and stuff like that, he's not.
All coaches get angry, though.
I feel. All right, we're going to continue the college football conversation with RJ Young. Let's get into it.
All right, joining us now is Fox Sports National CFB college football analyst RJ Young. Not RJ Sauer to be mistaken, but RJ Young. What's up, RJ?
Feeling Keyshawn. I'm very excited to be here, dog.
No, it's all good. And, obviously my son Keyshawn is also on the show with us, so we're going to be hitting you from the left and the right.
Nice seeing you, RJ. Yeah, let's talk about Boston College and Florida State. Florida State's 0-2. They started off 10th. What'd you have in your rankings? Where were they in your rankings?
Florida State? They ain't there.
They're not even.
No. I can't mess with them.
You couldn't mess with them because of what? The quarterback? They lost their quarterback from a year ago?
What, because of Florida State? Nah, it's because they 0-2.
Oh, but wait. I'm looking at the rankings. Wait.
The preseason. What'd you have them before? When it started?
Oh, well, see, now wait. Why you want to bring up old stuff? You know what I'm saying?
They was five in your preseason ranking?
Look, in the preseason, I'm thinking they like me. I'm thinking they got the get down that is, I'm on a revenge tour. You know what I'm saying? Equally balanced with a chip on both shoulders, but that ain't apparently who they wanted to be against Georgia Tech. And that damn sure ain't who they wanted to be against BC. So now, they ain't nowhere to be seen. That's just what it is. That's what it's going to be. I'm looking at this and I looked at the AP rankings that came out on Tuesday. And I thought they would not be in them, right? I thought they would drop out, but I did not expect that they wouldn't get a single point. You know how hard it is to not get a single point being Florida State if for any reason at all? Vanderbilt got more points than Florida State. Liberty got more points than Florida State. And yet, here we are talking about what Florida State is not because none of us saw this coming.
Yeah, the fact that they were 13-0 and now they've lost the last 3 games, being a Florida State fan must be crazy. you missed the college football playoffs, and now this is the situation.
No, but see, RJ, just like the rest of the national media, they caught up in the names of schools, the FSU, the LSU. They get caught up in all that and not really understanding what's old ain't new. Y'all looking at the Deion Sanders days at Florida State, okay? They lost so many players, whether it was in the transfer portal or graduation or whatever the case is, and the first thing they say is, oh, they was in it. They barely missed out on the playoffs. They got to be a top 10 team this year. It's like, no, they're not a top 10 team because if you don't have a quarterback, you ain't got nothing. They went and got DJU from Oregon State. DJU from Oregon State that left Clemson to go to Oregon State because he couldn't get it done at Clemson. And then Oregon State, the coach at Oregon State didn't tell him to come to Michigan State. He was like, find your own school.
And that's crazy because DJ was like, coming out from California, he was like the best thing ever. And just seeing the progression is just crazy to me. But
that's on RJ, though.
I think DJ Uiagalelei was one of the top 10 players in the country coming out of high school.
Top 5.
DJ Uiagalelei was 1B to Bryce Young's 1A. I think DJ Uiagalelei went for 439 and 3 TDs against Notre Dame as a true freshman in a play year. I think that DJ Uiagalelei has the tools to be really great. It just ain't been clicking. And I thought Mike Norvell might be able to do something with him because he did something with Jordan Travis, who I didn't think had it at all until last year. I think that, Florida State rates, just like USC rates. I'm gonna rank y'all in the top 25 based on Lincoln Riley telling me that he got a quarterback. It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not Miller Moss is any good. And to the national media part, I mean, dog, what you expect? Not everybody gonna come out of community college and then go for 1,300 yards. Not everybody gonna come out of community college, go for 1,300, 1,400, and then get drafted number 1 overall. Not everybody is gonna come out, get Tampa, and then gonna have me wearing their jersey to elementary school talking about I'm him. That ain't gonna go for everybody. And for DJ, I wanted to go differently.
No, it's all no. DJ was legit coming out. There's no question about it. He was legit coming out. And look, Florida State historically has been a pretty good program. I mean, they dipped off a little bit there, but they got it back. They got a little bit of mojo back. And look, this ain't all about DJ. It's about the rest of the team too, because they didn't show up. He doesn't play defense, right? I mean, he plays offense. He plays the quarterback position, but he just does not play defense. It's just a shocker, I guess, to a lot of people's system when you look at two programs in terms of the ACC that has been nowhere near the ACC championship in Boston College and Georgia Tech, or Georgia Tech then Boston College, and then Bill O'Brien goes down to Florida State. If you had told me, RJ, that this game was at Boston College, because I've been at Boston College and watched them smack SC upside their head, okay? If you said to me, this game's at Boston College, I'd be like, oh, okay. But it was at FSU. It was at the da-da-da-da-da. It was there. That's the problem.
Look, first you go overseas and you take that L to the engineering school, the other public university in Georgia. And then you come home and the Jesuits come down there and give you the what for and the how now. But to your point, like, for me, it is they chanting Brock Glenn's name at Doak Campbell. I bet Brock Glenn never expected to hear his name chanted for anything at all. But that is how bad DJ Uiagalelei looked. Now, I hear you on the whole, look, man, it's a team sport, but the quarterback is the most important part of the team. And if that man was overthrowing you like he was overthrowing his receivers, you might be saying some nasty stuff about him too, going, hey, man, you got to give me something I can catch out here. Otherwise, we are going to lose. Look, going into halftime, he had 2 opportunities to put them on the board with 6. But all he had to do was throw that boy, Ja'Kai Douglas, the ball where he could catch it. And he couldn't do that. That ain't got nothing to do with the other parts of the team, dog. That ain't got nothing to do with the offensive line. That ain't got nothing to do with the receivers. That ain't got nothing to do with the defense. Can you be accurate with the football? And he could not. I need somebody to help this man because it feels like if his footwork gets fixed, he's going to be everything we expect him to be. But until then, he is who he is.
Do you guys think that they should give Brock Glenn a chance? The backup quarterback?
You asking me or you?
Both of you guys. The backup quarterback for Florida State.
Keyshawn, you mind?
I know. I'm trying to think if they should pull you
two
know,
losses in it's week 1 and they're 0-2.
yeah, but
Sounds
see, I look at it different than a lot of fans and people that's out there. I assess the game. I just don't look at statistics. Is it all his? Are they 0-2 because of him?
Yeah, I mean,
If you're 0-2 because of him and he's just playing just horseshit football and he can't get out of his own way and he's not picking up the offense and he's doing things that have cost them the wins, then you move in a different direction.
There was a lot of times where he left points on the board. There was like a corner route.
But it wasn't his fault, Keyshawn.
No, there was a corner route that was thrown to the fans.
No, I get that, but it's also a seam route that was thrown, I believe, to the tight end, and it went in and out of the tight end's hands. Yeah. That's not DJ's fault. The dude was a perfect throw. He threw it where only his guy could catch it. Catch the damn ball.
I'm looking at Kyle Morlock, tight end you talking about, and I'm going, hey man, do you want to see another quarterback too? Because you letting this stuff drop to the ground like it's not hitting you in the hands.
That's all I'm saying.
DJ say something about your mama. We don't know something.
That's all I'm saying. When you call for the rock, you gotta catch it. You gotta catch it. You know.
I'm curious about this because there's two ways of looking at this, right? Let me put on my national media hat right quick before I put on my RJ hat. My national media hat is you got this dude that's a blue chip recruit in Luke Kromenhoek. He's a true freshman. He could be the truth. He could be all right. Maybe you want to go that way, or maybe you want to try to protect his red shirt is what we used to do. But in the age of the portal, you better play them right away, or they are going into the transfer portal to go play for somebody else. And I know this is true because Mike Norvell had A.J. Duffy come through, that boy at San Diego State. He had Tate Rodemaker come through. That didn't work out. He had Southern Miss, my mama's alma mater. And now he got Brock Glenn behind DJ Uiagalelei because you went into the portal, and when you got it wrong, you got it wrong. Like, that's the problem here. Like, Mike Norvell thought he had something in DJ Uiagalelei. I thought he had something in DJ Uiagalelei. I don't know how much of this is on Mike Norvell. I don't know how much of this is on DJ Uiagalelei. That said, I know what it amounts to, 0-2. 0-2 ain't gonna get it done at Florida State.
Uiagalelei.
Yeah, because he done said DJ Uiagalelei a lot. Just keep it DJU, man.
You know what I'm saying? I practice. That's all. I practice.
So what? So this weekend, where now that you've seen a couple teams lose, a couple teams win, and you set up and I guess you had 134 teams ranked. So it took you, I guess, all day, all night, and then some. Now, where do you rank your top 10 teams? Because a lot of teams at the top didn't even lose. I think FSU may be the only team at the top that lost this weekend.
Do you mind if I consult my Fox Sports top 25 right quick to tell you exactly what those top 10 are?
Yeah.
Because we just did this last night, and I had to redo it again because Florida State went ahead and lost to BC, and I'm like, damn, now I got to go do this all over again? What it looked like, there it is. Doc. I'm looking at Georgia. I have them at 2. Ohio State was at 1. And then Georgia stomped the mud hole in Clemson and walked it dry. And then Ohio State went down 3-0 to Akron, and you got to hold the zips to zip. I can't let that slide. Georgia being dominant. They have won their last 40 regular season games. That's what it looked like. They have won 43 out of the last 45, and the 2 losses come to Nick Saban, and he don't coach football anymore. Then I got Texas there. I think they're going to give Michigan the 4.5 now this weekend. That'll clear itself up. Ole Miss put up 76 on Furman. Alabama put up 63 on Western Kentucky. Pick one. I picked Ole Miss in 4th spot this week. We'll see if it holds up for next week. Notre Dame is a problem, dog. Like, Notre Dame went ahead and beat Texas A&M on the road. That's a quality win. And they ain't got to play nobody else. They get to Georgia Tech, and then they get to Florida State, who ain't nobody. We thought they were going to be somebody, and then they get to SC. You know, we keep going down the list.
Play nobody else.
They play. Keyshawn. They play an open marriage schedule with the ACC, which means that every game that Notre Dame plays against the ACC opponent is an out-of-conference game. It also means they don't have to play a conference championship. And in this year of all years, where we got a 12-team playoff, it is the only Power 4 program that's playing 8 Power 4 teams and not 9. They are skating, my guy. They are skating. They're going to get into the college football playoff. They're going to take one of these bids for one of these teams that actually had to go play in a conference championship and lost, all because they Notre Dame, and I can't stand it.
Oh, okay. I mean, you said they didn't play nobody. I just know USC is on the schedule, but, I guess you
We'll
meant.
see.
I guess you meant before they got to USC.
We'll see.
Speaking of USC and speaking of where they're at and all those good things, what did you make of that LSU game? Because I know a lot of people out there, for whatever weird reason, didn't think that USC had a shot in the dark, which is kind of crazy to me.
I really like what Danton Lynn was doing with the defense. Like, I don't know if you saw this or not, but your entire team put on 1.5 tons of weight. Like, they got bigger. Zachariah got bigger. Everybody got bigger.
Pounds.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And Danton Lynn was going, look, I learned the NFL. You got to make them big. You got to make them big, and they got to get after people. I don't like running a bunch of quarters. I don't like saying go man-to-man against LSU's wide receivers, but they did it, and it was okay. You know what I'm saying? When they started to run the ball a little bit in the third quarter, I was going to see this is why you got to bring somebody down. Outside of that, it's really Lincoln Riley and what he's doing with quarterbacks. Like the history is there. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. I can keep going if I need to, right? We'll get to Caleb Williams before too long. But the thing about Miller Moss is he was spinning it in a way that I didn't know he could do it. He was staring down blitzes, and he was throwing passes to guys that could catch them. I didn't know he had that. Now that I know he has that, I feel better about SC because I got to see that against a defense that ain't great, but it's certainly one that I respect in LSU, right? Other part about this is that team was good enough to overcome Lincoln Riley's clock management, which is akin to managing a clock like it's broken. You know what I'm saying? He still ain't really got that one down yet, but they overcame it because Woody Marks was able to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and call game. I'm going to run this in. Safety, I don't know what he was looking at. All you had to do was hit your run fit, dog. Hit your run fit. You stopped him. Maybe the kicker misses another field goal, but you didn't, and he ran the other way, and now we got 27-20. I thought that maybe USC was going to have to put up 40, right? Because that's what Lincoln Riley does. He puts up 40. Ain't have to do that. And then Brian Kelly over here slamming his fist down on a desk. I don't know what that was for, who that was for, because it wasn't for me. You can't win that game. That's on you, dog.
Yeah, I don't know why Brian Kelly is getting so much pushback because he slammed his fist down on the table and talked about how they gave the game away and how the kids wasn't focused on the sidelines because they thought that they had already won the game. And everybody is like, they go on at Brian Kelly. Huh?
Something to be mad about, though, right? Like, you lost the game.
Yeah, but you got to – it's part him, part the kids. It's part his teaching, part his coaching staff, part him, because somebody's got to have control of the sidelines. Somebody's got to have control of the bench. Players have got to know that the game ain't over till the game is over with. But that's all part of coaching anyway. Yeah. That's really what it is.
RJ, what was the big – oh, go ahead.
Can I pick that up right quick? Because I want to reinforce your point on that. If you slamming your fist down in the post game, losing your composure about losing, what do you expect from your football team when the game is in the balance? That's what I'm really asking here. You're talking about is some of that is on the coaching staff, some of that is on him. I look at it this way. It is not incumbent upon the kids to get to know you. It is incumbent upon you to get to know the kids. And if they can't finish for 3 straight years, I'm not willing to put that at their feet. Especially when you are coming in here to run down, not finishing. That's what you teach in practice. That's what you teach in drills. You finish through. You run through. I'm not inclined to just simply say, Brian Kelly knows what he's talking about so much as I'm inclined to say, hey, man, you are exhibiting the kind of behavior that your team will probably reflect back to you.
I hear you on that. What was the biggest surprise from week 1?
I mean, outside of Florida State being booty?
Yes.
That I did not expect them to lose to Georgia Tech. I did not expect that. No, I had them at number 5. What am I going to expect them to lose to Georgia Tech for?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a nice vacation. Nah, They made sure FSU fans was mad on that plane back.
One thing that I was surprised about is how bad Oregon looked against Idaho, right? I feel like, I have them winning the national. I did have them winning the national championship.
Who winning that championship?
Oregon. So
stop.
So I mean, to just come out looking like that, it was kind of crazy to me.
But you all look, man. First of all, outside of a handful of SEC teams that get cupcakes at the start of the season, most teams gonna look a certain way. Like I'm not gonna go crazy because Colorado looked the way they look and didn't play nearly as good as they should have played. Like I'm not gonna go crazy because Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin scored 70 points on like whoever they played, Murray State or whoever it was. Like I'm not like that doesn't mean anything because when when the shit hits the fan, are you going to respond the same way you did in week 1 or week 2 against the cupcake teams? If that's the case, then you got a national championship on your hand. I don't ever think that Oregon, first of all, Oregon, they're not a national championship team to me. It looked good. They changed their uniforms. They got the Nikes. They got all that. But at the end of the day, they wind up in the same position every single year. A nice bowl game.
I feel you. Well, speaking of Colorado, what do you expect for them this season from Deion? The over/under's 5.5.
I got them win. As crazy as it may sound,
I think you said
I got them winning the conference.
Whole thing, right?
I got them winning the conference. As crazy as it may sound, because whenever you got the best quarterback, and I believe they got the best quarterback in the conference, you typically win. We can go into the NFL, RJ, or we can go into college football. Florida State was headed to the national championship last year because at that last year, until he got hurt, they had the best quarterback. Andrew Luck at Stanford, they won because they had the best quarterback. USC should have beaten Utah and been in the Final Four a couple years ago. Caleb got hurt. They had the best quarterback. Whenever you have the best quarterback, you usually win. And Shedeur Sanders in this conference, and I know Cam Rising is there, and we know him, Keyshawn, from high school at Newberry Park and all that. They got the second best quarterback in the conference. But Shedeur is so much better than he was a year ago. All they got to do is continue to protect him and put the football in the playmakers' hands. And I'm telling you, they're going to win this conference.
You didn't end up putting money on it, though, did you?
It ain't too late.
I think you should if you got so much confidence. What do you think, though, RJ?
I think you got a really great point about the importance of the quarterback position in the sport. I think that the examples that you're citing, Andrew Luck being chief among them, is a great example. Caleb Williams is an outstanding quarterback. The problem that I have there, Jordan Travis, they didn't win no national championships. That's my problem.
But I didn't say, RJ, I didn't say national championship. I said conference.
Hey. And I'm just telling you, Caleb Williams ain't win no conference championship.
Yeah, we won.
7-5 last year.
Didn't we win the conference 2 years ago?
No,
no, he got hurt.
Utah.
No, he got hurt.
Utah. With Cam Rising.
But come on, though, RJ. You know damn well if Caleb didn't hurt his hamstring in that game in Vegas, we win that game.
Hey, Keyshawn, you know who his backup was in Vegas? It was Miller Moss. Why didn't I see Miller Moss?
Because Caleb was better at the time 2 years ago than Miller Moss was healthy. Yes.
On one leg?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't need him out there on one leg.
No, but he still was good with that one leg. He still was out there balling. He was still out there. But if you look at it though, when you got the best quarterback in a conference, you're probably going to win that conference.
But let me talk to Shedeur for a second, because I hear you on this, right? He is the best quarterback in the conference. I hear you on that. He is ridiculously unflappable under pressure. Okay? That man sees him coming in his face. He tries to find something to do with the football. That said, that man got hit 199 times last year. That man took 50 sacks last year. That man couldn't play the last game of the regular season because he had a vertebrae in his back broken. Now, I know that that's Coach Prime's boy, and I know how people feel about that, but I got to look at what you have around him to protect him and ask questions. So if you cannot keep that boy upright, it don't matter how good a quarterback he is. That's the problem we have. You got Travis Hunter over here. You got Jimmy Horn, who went for damn near 200 yards. He went for 198 against North Dakota State. And they're still in a dogfight with an FCS program.
No. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you off now. Now I'm going to cut you off. Now you're going to tell me that North Dakota State, a FCS school, historically a nice program, isn't good enough to challenge a Colorado in one game?
They got 63 scholarships to Colorado's 85.
Doesn't matter. Because you're not getting past you're not getting past 32 players in the game any damn way.
If I can block them, then we got a problem, right? If I can't block them, we got a problem. And
man, y'all be disrespecting North Dakota State. I don't get it.
Well, then we're not talking about what the personnel is.
Because North Dakota State can play in one of these small conferences and run.
They play in Big 12?
They You can put them in the Big 12. You can put them in the Big 12.
Do you think they're gonna finish? Like if you put North
If
Dakota
you
State
put them in the Big 12,
are they gonna finish
you
second in
don't think
Colorado?
you don't think they can play with Houston?
They'd be in the bottom of the Big 12.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
that's not the question,
nah.
though, Keyshawn. He said, can you put them in there?
You said with Houston, probably, because
That's all I'm saying.
Worst. Yeah,
That's
There are
all I'm
16
saying.
teams.
That's all I'm saying.
There's 16 teams in the Big 12, right? I'm saying that can they finish the middle of the pack? Yeah, but so can Colorado. I'm not gonna pick them to win the conference.
Yeah,
not
but
doing
they
that.
but they ain't got Colorado's quarterback. They ain't got They ain't Torrey Hunter. Damn, that's
Travis.
baseball.
I'm not
Travis
picking
Hunter.
Colorado with Shador to win the conference. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Oh,
RJ,
that's not
you
what I'm
have
doing.
you
Oh,
have
I can't wait to
you have
Deion win this
Shador
conference.
you have Shador and Travis at 1 and 2 in your player ranking.
Superstars.
But
Yeah.
you don't have Colorado in your top 50. So who is winning
Kiki,
the?
Kiki.
Yeah,
It is popularity, which is how much money you can make and how many people know your name, and then your playmaking ability. That's what we do with superstars. One of them dudes is on the cover of EA Sports College Football 25, and I played the hell out of that game. The other one is a guy that other people, other celebrities outside the sport want to hang out with, and he can ball. That's why they're 1 and 2, right? We're not doing this on the NFL draft board. I don't need to do that. That's not what I do. I cover college football.
I
You know
hear
what I'm saying? You want to talk about the 100 superstars? I can tell you why. One of the other things you see underneath that is, what are their name, image, and likeness deals? How much money are they making? What is their value to their programs? Since Colorado got Prime and Shador, they have seen the number of kids that want to go to Colorado go up, and importantly, the number of black kids that want to go to Colorado go up. They are on national television playing football for a school that went 4-8 last year. That is damn near impossible anywhere else. That is why they're number 1 and number 2 on the superstar list.
So what? So enough about Colorado, because you don't think Colorado has enough to get into the Marshmallow Bowl, let alone win the conference. At the end of the day, what the hell is going on in South Carolina and Clemson with Dabo Swinney? When will he finally figure out that you got to go in the portal and you got to stop acting like you got Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence and Sammy Watkins and company playing on the offensive side of the ball? See, I feel like, you know what I feel like, and I said this a while ago about Clemson. I feel like when they lost the coaches that they lost, I'm trying to think, Chad Morris,
Jeff Scott,
Chad Morris, and then the brother that's at Virginia,
Tony Elliott, and then
Tony Elliott,
new head coach at Oklahoma.
and then
Tony
the new
Elliott.
head coach at Oklahoma,
Venables.
Venables. I felt like that was the demise and the fall
I agree.
of Clemson's program, because they was getting knocked off every year. They was knocking off a coach out of the program. What you think?
I think that Dabo is one of the unique individuals in our sport that you can't tell nothing to because he's overcome everything else. I mean, this is a dude that was sharing a bunk with his mama in college and managed to turn himself into one of the great football coaches of all time. He won 2 national championships in the playoff era at Clemson. Clemson got a population of 17,000 people. It ain't nowhere to nobody. The student body is bigger at Clemson than the city of Clemson. So I think when he says that I got to do it my way, he got to do it his way. Now, is his way antiquated? Is his way going to keep up for the future? Probably not. But I can't go to Dabo Swinney and tell him to change up when everything that Dabo Swinney has done up until now has worked for Dabo Swinney.
Do you see him doing something like Nick Saban and kind of just going away from college football, or he's going to be there for a while?
Not without a fight.
Because he makes too much money, right?
Where is he going?
It's more like his
Just
pride is
like-
at stake here.
Maybe the NFL or somewhere.
Man, ain't nobody fucking with Dabo Swinney in no NFL, man. Stop it.
Really?
Man, ain't nobody, boy. You're not
Yeah,
gonna mess with
well,
him.
he's
I
making
really-
too.
I-
and he's
I-
making
I
a lot of
wish-
money in college.
I wish
It's just
somebody would
something
mess
that,
with the Dallas Cowboys and him. Like I
Nah.
want everything for
You
the
don't think
Dallas
so? You
Cowboys
don't
to be
think he's
good.
like an NFL type of?
I like Dabo. Dabo, cool. We met him on your recruit
Yeah, there's
visits.
difference between.
Hung out
that's what
with
I'm
him, but
asking.
I'm a pro making money. I'm not listening to that. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the
Damn.
main reasons when you start talking about portals and money and NILs, you are essentially turning a guy into a pro athlete. And if you paying me
he's not trying
7
to listen
figures
yeah.
to play football for you, you're not gonna be able to tell me anything because I'll jump in the portal on your ass.
Especially in the
No,
pro
what? That's a
level,
damn
it's
good
like
point.
different.
Yeah, think about it.
That's a damn good
It's,
point.
it's certain people that's made for coaching college, and there's certain people made to coach in the pros. Period.
But
That's
college,
why they usually don't work.
But colleges ended up being the pros now. So
Essentially,
it's like,
yeah.
So it's like
It's almost like Oklahoma. You know, Oklahoma football program is good, They'll never win another national championship anytime
Hey,
soon.
now, look here now. Look here now. All right. I know it's been some 25 years since we won a national championship, but you got to know, dog, that's me. That's me you talking about over there. All right.
Well, let me ask you something. No, but let me ask you this, though, now that you mentioned that. Why would Oklahoma, I think oil money. Oil money. Texas, Oklahoma, a little bit of Arkansas. What else? What other state are they surrounded around?
Kansas, Missouri.
Yeah, but Kansas
Colorado.
ain't really. But in Colorado and Kansas really not an Oklahoma. It's more Arkansas, Texas,
Kentucky kind of.
right?
Yeah.
Arkansas, Texas is really their hotbed.
Okay.
Why didn't y'all pony up the money to keep the QB that went to Oregon,
Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah,
Dylan
that
Gabriel?
dude. Yeah, why y'all didn't give him enough money to stay?
Because he older than you are.
What does that mean?
You like the
means
guy?
that the boy is going to his 6th year as a college football quarterback, right? Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we got a national Gatorade Player of the Year at quarterback, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got that dude. He from Denton Geyer. He from down the road. You know what I'm saying? He can sling it. His name is Jackson Arnold. You're going to be talking about him the way you talk about Caleb Williams, trying to tell y'all. But the thing that you need to know about Oklahoma is that we ain't got no Los Angeles Lakers. We ain't got no Los Angeles Dodgers. We ain't got none of that. You know what we got? We got the pro team in Norman. That's what we got. We got to win.
You just said,
worse than you got to win.
You just said y'all hadn't won a national title in 25 years. You ain't had.
And
you have not had
look,
the
like
Dodgers, the
Nebraska.
Lakers, the
Look
Celtics,
at
and
your
nobody
man.
else
Look
in
at your
25
man.
years.
Look at your man's. Look at your man's. Your man's got the 3 college football playoffs with us. How many he got to with you?
Yeah, he just got here.
Oh, excuse me. He just got here. His first year, he made the college football playoff, had a Heisman winner at Oklahoma. What he got at USC?
Yeah, but that came from Stoops. That didn't come from him.
Oh, and where did he build his legend?
Yeah, but
Was it in Norman or was it in LA?
But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he left the fucking place in the middle of the night on an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. Hey, look.
Where would you rather be?
Here. What you talking about?
He would
Here.
rather be there.
I'm here.
You
here.
would rather be on 2 strips of a road across the street from a campus with a Moe's Mexican restaurant in a bar, or would you rather be at the beach town overlooking the hills in Palos Verdes like y'all coach Lincoln Riley? What would you? Because when Lincoln Riley looked at it, he said, man, I'm tired of looking at a house and then another house 10,000 miles apart. No, I want to be on top of each other, looking at ocean, me and mama and my kids going to Southern California.
Hey, Keyshawn, I'm doing this show from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to grad school at the University of Oklahoma. I went to high school at the University. Oh, excuse me. I went to high school at Tulsa Memorial. I went to the University of Tulsa for undergrad. Okay. I am of this place. I would say that I got to this place because I am of this place. And I'm not going to trade this place out for an ocean. Okay. Like another thing about the oil thing, like whenever I go up there, gas prices like what, $6.79, $7 somewhere in there?
Yeah, it's high.
You know what it was?
That's why
It was
every now and then I drive an
$2.71
electric
here
car.
today.
You right
Money
there.
longer over here.
You're right there. Yeah.
You're right there. They giving gas away.
Oh, no. That's not, we not going to do that because that's the other thing. You move to California, you get California taxes. How much of that money is he taking home? You know what I'm saying? Like it add up after a while here.
Yeah, but what good? I ain't knocking Oklahoma. What good is the money gonna do you in Oklahoma? You can't do nothing with it because you ain't got nothing to do with it except go see
If
the
your
OKC
family-
Thunder. OKC Thunder. The only thing
Season
you can go
tickets
do.
to Oklahoma City Thunder and Sooners games. Maybe
Man,
Oklahoma
about to
City.
say, like look.
What,
I
you
ain't
gonna go
been
to
a Thunder
Stillwater?
game since I was covering for the Oklahoman. I can't tell you about that.
You
I
gonna
be
go
out
to
here with the football.
Wait, you gonna go to Stillwater and watch Oklahoma State? You gonna go watch the
I'm not
Tulsa?
gonna do
What's
that.
Tulsa? Tulsa what? Golden something?
Golden Hurricanes.
Golden
the
Hurricane.
Golden Hurricanes.
Golden
Hey,
Hurricane.
Before we move on, I want to ask you a serious question though, because you're in Tulsa, raised around the area. Black Wall Street.
Mm.
When did you learn about Black Wall Street? Because I just learned about it maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Mm.
I just learned about Black Wall Street. I wasn't taught any of that growing up in high school or junior high or even in college. It was like I didn't know anything about it. When did you learn about it?
I learned about it when I was 13 years old, and my father took me to Greenwood, which is where Black Wall Street is, for a haircut. And we had a small sign that was outside the shop that was recognizing this as one of the buildings that did not burn down. Okay. It does not surprise me that you did not know about Greenwood, if for no other reason than it was suppressed. It was not a thing that was mentioned after it happened for another 50 years. So from the time 1921 to 1971, it's as if it did not happen. It's as if it did not exist. But to be here and to live here is to know exactly what had happened. As a matter of fact, just a couple of years ago, we used to have a legend here that there were mass graves, black folks during that period, looted, murdered, thrown into a mass grave that was disappeared. Mm-hmm. And for years, they told us that was a myth and it had not happened. Do you know we exhumed those bodies from the Oak Lawn Cemetery just a couple of years ago? That's how deep it is. That's how deep the suppression of this event has been. So knowing that, growing up here, being black here, one of the things that's always meant the most to me is to own a home here, because that wasn't always going to be a thing that I was allowed to do, especially outside the closed circuit community that is Greenwood. One of the reasons that it got its name is because we were wealthy, but we were wealthy because we patronized each other. We could not go outside of that district and expect anything like equal opportunity. In fact, we would leave the district and we would go do a job, come back to the district. It's only after Dick Rowland and Sarah Page that we got this combustion, that we got this race massacre, and we got to see exactly what it meant to live here as a black person in Tulsa. So when I first learned about this, I was curious. But when I went to high school at Booker T. Washington, which is the high school that did not burn down, I get to understand that we are special. We are special because all of our doctors and lawyers sent their children to Booker T., which is a Tulsa public high school. To go there now, to be a Hornet, to have graduated from there is a mark of honor. It really is. We love that place. And R.W. McQuarters comes out of there. Robert Meacham comes out of there. Felix Jones come out of there. Every year you'll have someone from that high school go to Harvard, go to Yale, go to Princeton. We go off. We come back because we know how hard it was to get us raised up just to do this in the first place. So knowing that, I wanted to know more, and I wanted to get to the bottom of what does it mean to be a black Tulsan, and why does that story resonate once it gets to folks like yourself? Mm-hmm. And that has been another part of my life's work, right? That is who I am.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm when I get a chance, when the Lakers play maybe OKC and they get both of them good again, because I've been there to watch Lakers play. I want to, next time I come, I need to get around there and tour that. I will
show you.
Yeah, I really do.
You call me. You call me, I will take you everywhere you need to go.
Yeah.
RJ, last question. I know you're a huge Oklahoma fan. You've been showing it all throughout the show, but how do you feel about them joining the SEC? You think they're going to hold up?
I'm scared.
Look, there was two modes here. The first one was I didn't like it when it was announced. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know what everybody else knows about the SEC. Right. You know, I liked winning 14 conference championships in 20 years. Like, that was nice to me. The next closest program won 4. But as I get closer and closer to SEC media days, as we get closer to the season kicking off, I got folks talking about Oklahoma like we Missouri. You know what I'm saying? They talking about us. You know what I mean? Like we Vanderbilt. And I ain't here for that. I need you to show up with a little bit of respect.
They not lying.
We're not running from anybody. We're running toward the SEC. We expect to be Oklahoma in the SEC. Give it time. Just like Novocaine. It'll get there. It'll work.
What do you have them ranked right now? Because I saw Ole Miss and Alabama at 4 and 5. What do you have?
I got them at 11. I got 11? Missouri at 10.
Mm-hmm. Missouri at 10.
No, y'all, Oklahoma cool. It's a nice little program, but y'all can't compete with Georgia. I don't think y'all gonna be able to compete with Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee.
Do you know that we was up 17 points on Georgia in the Rose Bowl before your man Lincoln decided to squib kick it in the second half? Do you know that?
Yeah,
we had them boys dead to rights.
I know.
Dead to rights, I tell you.
Baker Mayfield. I get it. I get all that. Y'all also was up against USC 3-0. How did that work out for you?
Oh, see, now you want to bring up something that happened 20 years ago.
They thought they was rolling.
We really did, dog.
Because I played with Oklahoma guys, and they thought we had bets. Corey Ivy, one of my boys that played corner at Oklahoma, He was betting and had it. They was up, I think it was 3-0 or maybe it was 7-0.
And then they just got.
And they was talking shit.
I remember that.
Yeah, Jason White back. Adrian Peterson was going in his last. We thought we had a squad. Like, we were ready. You know what I'm
20 yards
saying?
messing with us.
We booed Ashley Simpson at halftime. We got hammered and we booed the halftime show. That's how mad we was. Look, one thing I got to say about, man, during that time, y'all was something different. Like, that was me getting my first dose of, USC ain't that good. And then you get there and you get to see that during that period from basically 2000 all the way through, right? All the way through, I want to say 2006. Couldn't nobody mess with y'all except Texas, and they don't let me live that down, never.
Yeah, they beat Texas. Texas beat us, but it wasn't like people try to make it out to be because they won the national title. We tricked that game off on our own, playing games because we felt ourselves. We got complacent, and we just knew we was better than everybody. Reggie running down the field, throwing the ball to people. Like, come on, man, stop it. Yeah, like, come on, Reg, man, you tripping. Then Pete doesn't want to go for it and hand it to Lindell. He want to mess around and take Lindell out of the game. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But anyway, look, let me stop.
Look, I was going to say, like, we can keep going about that, but I'll put it this way, dog. When we talk about SC and we talk about Reggie, I can't say nothing at all. I can't say nothing at all.
Yeah, you can't throw the ball. You can't throw the ball back though to a walk on.
Yeah, who was that guy? I forgot his name.
Can't do it. Yeah. Can't do it at all.
But thank you so much for being on the show, RJ. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah, we got to bring you. Thanks a lot, RJ. We got to bring you back though as the season goes on, and we check out these rankings, and then we gonna keep your rankings every single week. Every single week, we gonna chart these things until you come back on the show, and we gonna see where Oklahoma's ranked. USC, LSU, Florida State, and everybody else.
That's what's up. Appreciate you.
All right.
So the NFL season starts next week. What are your power rankings? What are your top 6? Give us like a top 6.
You know what? 5. Every single week it's gonna change for me.
Yeah. Well,
right. I might go 6 this week. Next week I might say, you know what, man, it's only 4 teams I really like in the NFL, and then I might say it's 10 teams I really like in the NFL. But right now we got 6, and I'm starting with the Lions.
Okay.
The Lions at 6. Look, here's a team with Jared Goff, Keyshawn, that I believe is one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League. He has like a stain on his name because he got traded and Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl and Sean McVay said, get out. Mm-hmm. But he's taken the Rams to the championship, NFC championship, then the Super Bowl. He's taken the Lions to the NFC championship.
They won a game and
they hadn't won a playoff game in like 1,000 years. Uh-huh. So he's legit as they come. Plus they defense, the tight end. That Hutchinson coming off the edge is a beast that just it's ridiculous. And that defense is gonna get better. We know what they are offensively. St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown is ridiculous at the receiver position. Let's see if Jamison Williams comes up and plays this year, stays healthy, and stays his ass out of trouble.
Gibbs.
First and foremost. Gibbs as well. Yeah. So you look at that. And then number 5 is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins sit at 5. People would probably say, well, why is the Dolphins so high? Dolphins are good
people. Yeah.
You're people?
I'm people.
Think about it.
5 is.
The Dolphins were a good football team. They had the number 1 seed midway through the season last year. They fell apart defensively. Jalen Phillips out. I feel like Jalen Ramsey got hurt.
He did.
Yeah, so it was like, Tyreek every other game, something's wrong with his hamstring. It was like a lot that was going on. They was trying to protect Tua to make sure he didn't get injured. You look at them at 5, the thing that their Achilles heel could be the weather. They've got to win the division, which I think that they probably will. Be them and the Jets. I got the Bills coming in at 3rd. In New England, whatever they.
Do you have the Jets or the Bills higher than Miami, or that's the highest team on the?
That's the highest team in the East.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's why you got to wait to see the rankings.
Yeah, okay.
So you look at Miami. If they get and win the division, and somehow find themselves in out of home field advantage, in home field advantage situation in 1 and 2, they can go a long ways. Uh-huh. If they got to go on the road to a Kansas City. Then to a Baltimore. Then, so you can't, there's no way. They don't travel with their offense. Their offense is not portable. And what I mean by that, they got to be in a weather situation, good weather. They coming from South Florida, man. I played in Tampa. And all of a sudden you go to Chicago and play in the month of January, you're going to freeze your ass. So you want to just go home and go to the club. You don't even want to play.
Yeah.
So they sitting there. At number 4, I got the Texans.
Okay.
The Texans
Young.
sit at 4 because they got Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins and they just got Joe Mixon. They got the young C.J. Stroud at the quarterback. We know what they got on defense. You just look at the Texans, and the division is not good.
Right.
They
remind me of the Oklahoma City Thunder, like in the NBA. They're like young. They're coming up. They did good one year. They're gonna probably get better this year. So.
Son, they got Indy, who booed their quarterback in the preseason.
Yeah.
Okay. You got Tennessee. I don't know what that is. And then you got Jacksonville that everybody touted
maybe
Trevor Lawrence as the next one coming.
You don't like Trevor Lawrence for some reason.
It's not that I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I'm just not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. That's all it is.
He got hurt last year. He was good. Well, it's fine.
No, you say what you going to say.
I just think he was good last year. He got hurt, and then that's what happened. I thought they were going to be a really good team, and they were.
You talking to me like I'm your father talking about you don't want to finish the conversation. You're like, nah, I don't even feel like
I just let you go on your top 3.
No, you ain't got to do it like that. Then I got the Eagles at 3, sitting at 3. You got to think Philadelphia is coming back with plenty. They loaded the deck, and they just got Dotson from Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So he's happy with Saquon. He's at home in the PA area. You look at that. They bring in Devin White on the defense, C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the defensive side of the ball. They bring back everybody. They got all the Georgia connections. Then they go out and get Saquon Barkley. Okay, everybody's locked up contract-wise. They're getting all paid. And they started off 10-1 before they went 1-6. You can't do that.
Yeah.
They going to change that. They fired both coordinators. They bring in Vic Fangio. They also bring in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore going to fix whatever was wrong with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts basically had the same year last year that he had Super Bowl year, except he turned the ball over a little bit more.
And their defense wasn't as good.
And their defense, they had 2 defensive coordinators in one season.
Yeah.
You can't win that way. So now you got that. The 49ers are sitting at 2. San Francisco 49ers are sitting at 2.
So we know who's won.
And they got everybody and then some.
Yeah.
And then you look at what they've been able to do. They paid Ayuk. Big Cat just came. They gave Trent Williams his money. Debo's Debo. Diamador's Diamador. Ward is Ward. Hufanga's Hufanga. Chris McCaffrey, Kittle. I mean, they got a whole deck. If they don't do it now, when? When are they going to do it if they don't do it now? Kyle Shanahan's been to 3 NFC championship games and 2 Super Bowls since he's been the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. So I believe they get it done. And then number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. There's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, you can't. 2 in a row going for 3. But what I'm surprised about is there's no Ravens there.
Yeah, but the Ravens could be 7.
Okay. And you did say you're going to like.
Yeah, and then next week, they wind up being 3, depending on what if they beat the Chiefs.
Right, which I don't think they are.
What if they go into KC? Because I think the game is at KC. They go into KC and beat the Chiefs. And if the game ain't at KC, they still beat the Chiefs.
Then are they 1? They move up to 1 in
They
your power
might,
rankings?
depending on what the game look like. It might be a
dog fight.
It might be a 9-6 game and a field goal.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what it looks like. But Baltimore lost a lot. They lost offensive linemen, secondary help. OBJ, not that he had a big year for him, but he was a locker room leader. They lost that. So you start to look at, is Mark Andrews going to be healthy? You start looking at everything, and a lot of people, they look at stuff and they go, oh, man, they got Lamar Jackson. Yeah, they got the MVP. And there's nothing wrong with being 7 this week. Like I said, they might be 7, they might be 8, they might be 10.
Right.
And then they beat Kansas City, they might be 3. Who knows? Yeah, that's my 6 teams. Next week, I'll give you 6 top receivers. Now,
yeah, we love to see that from you
because everybody gonna argue, Keyshawn, about whether or not I know football, know the receiver position.
Right.
Somebody's gonna get mad.
So we need it.
Somebody's gonna tweet me.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna tell their homeboy. Their homeboy gonna tell them that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm old. You're gonna get all that.
The 6 that are in are gonna love you. They're gonna say,
No, not necessarily. Because whoever 6 feel they should be 1.
Okay.
And whoever 2 is feel they should be 1.
Yeah.
And 3 feels that's
the receiver. The receiver.
That's how it's gonna go. All right, that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks again to RJ for joining the show. Be sure to follow us on All Facts Pod, all social media, and subscribe on YouTube. Until next time, I'm out, Keyshawn and my son. And make sure to watch Speak. Again, Speak, FS1, 2 to 4, West Coast, 5 to 7, East Coast. Peace.